Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you for joining us, as you maybe heard me talking about, or if you can just hear my voice at all, overcoming a little sickness, but I'm feeling good. Just the voice sounds a little raspy, but that is one of the many reasons I'm glad to have a cantor in our community to lead us in song and prayer. And I appreciate folks coming out on a holiday weekend, as this is our last Shabbat Friday night of the Gregorian year, and it's good to end 2023, which has had its real highs and its real challenges for the Jewish people, and maybe for you personally, by being together. And so, with that, we are going to turn to page 128 for the singing of Hine Matov.
Hine matov u'manayim לשבת אחים גם יחד. הנה matov u'manayim שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה matov, הנה matov. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hine matov, hine matov. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hine matov u'manayim. Ya la 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 la, ya la la. Hine matov u'manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad.
We are going to turn to page 142 for the singing of Shalom Aleichem. And that's a prayer about how we want peace upon all of us and peace as we enter into Shabbat. And there's a story that as people are leaving the synagogue to go home for their Shabbat, that there's basically an angel on their shoulder telling them to do good things, and also maybe an angel on their shoulder telling them bad things, kind of like we see in cartoons as a kid. And that's our Yetzer Hatov, our Yetzer Hara. And this prayer, which is all about angels, it teaches us to kind of, as we go into Shabbat and work to make our world a better place, turn our attention to that Yetzer Hatov, that inclination to do good. Page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elion, Kni Melech Malachi Hamalachi, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elion, Kni Melech Malachi Hamalachi, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachem L'Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, V'melech Malachi Amlachim, Kakadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu L'Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, V'melech Malachi Amlachim, Kakadosh Baruch Hu. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם, מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש Baruch Hu.
We're going to turn back to page 138 for the singing of Lecha Dodi.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בורא ומאורי, אורי, אורי, שיר דמרי, כי כבוד אדוני עלי נגלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We will rise and face the entrance as we greet Shabbat. Verse 9.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמונה עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי, דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
You may be seated. And now as we've welcomed in Shabbat with the singing of Lahadodi, we will bring light into our Sabbath as well. And I always like to pick somebody. Chava, would you like to light our candles? Chava does a lot of volunteering around here, so you're a fairly deserving person. Which, if you'd light our candles, I'd be most honored. Might giving you a trick match. Sorry. Here, you can try a different one. I'll get new matches next week, I promise. Let me see that really fast. I sometimes have the magic touch. Here you go.
Baruch atah Adonai אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו, וציוונו להדליק נר של Shabbat.
Thank you, Hava. We are going to turn to page 144 for the Hatzi Kaddish.
יתקדש שמי רבה,
אמן.
ויאמר דברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דרכו בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו
Amen.
אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה.
Yivarach.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשו
Rechu.
ברכו לעילה מנגו ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו
We're
אמן.
going to rise for our call to worship the Baruch Hu on page 146.
יאללה לילה 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 ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם דעת, לעולם דעת. יאללה לילה 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 יאללה לילה.
You may be seated. And since I can barely talk, can I volunteer to read for me at the bottom of page 149? Any volunteers? Gary, go ahead. Thank you.
This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of life. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of life. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over?
ברוך אתה אדוני המרי ערבי.
150.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות וקיימו משפטים אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיי ואורך ימינו ובהנהגה יומם ולילה. יעבדך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד ואחותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
After our people left Egypt, but before they crossed the sea, they stood on the shores, terrified to go forward. They said, maybe we should go back to something that wasn't great, but at least we knew what it was. And then Midrash teaches us that there was one guy, a guy named Nachshon, who said, I'm not going to go back, and rushed forward and jumped into the water and disappeared in the water. And people thought that Nachshon had probably drowned. But he came back up, and with water in his mouth and choking, only able to manage to say a couple words, he said, Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, and spat out the water by saying the words, who is like you, O God, among the gods that are worshipped. And it was then with that acknowledgement of the power of God and the one God of Israel that the waters split. And through those words that the people found faith and courage to go forward. And so for all of us, as we go into a new year that represents uncertainty of what joys and what difficulties lie ahead, but let's find moments to say, Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, and remember that we belong to something unique, something special, something that's different than anything else, and something that will give us the strength to go forward. Mi chamocha is on page 158.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורתי לא תוסיף אלה, נורתי לא תוסיף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בקיים לבני משה ומרים. זה לי אנו ביאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, לעולם, לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Page 160.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו, הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו, ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
Turn to the top of page 162 for Vishamru.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go and change here. וישמרו בעיני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
We rise rise and turn to page 164 for the Amidah.
Adonai Shefatai Tiftach Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Ya la 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 la, ya 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 la la la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Eloi avoteinu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'il hagadol hagibor v'hanora Ele Elion gomel החסדים הטובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם מחכה חיים בחסד מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יללוך סלה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We are going to continue silently on 172 through 180, or you can use this as an opportunity for your own prayers and reflections. And when you are finished, at your discretion, you may be seated. At this time, we are going to turn our thoughts to those who could use a prayer for healing of the mind, body, and spirit, and those who are also in a period of recovery as well. Do you guys have Shabbat handouts? Some of you do. I don't think they have that, so we just owe Debbie. So we will go to page 371 for our prayer for healing, the Mishaberach. This week, we think of these members of our community and their loved ones who could use a prayer for healing. Gitalea bat Mashahan, Harav Yehuda Le ben Dinam, Myron Israel ben Rachel, Daniel Meir ben Chaya Etia, Baruch ben Sarah, Itkafega bat Gittel, Bat Yahaya bat Sarah, Shifra Fega bat Rachel, Gila Haya bat Mordechai Le v'Gila Leah, Yosef Chaim ben Yael, Yehuda ben Chana, Tova Chava bat Chaya Rachel, Chaim Yosef ben Shana Lebe, David Dowsett, Yitzhak Figilski, Matthew Kalm, Rona Kipper, Tanner Light, Megan Magleby, Pete Schwager, Penny Spector, Adina Stern, and Judy Wolf. And if you have a name to add, when I look in your direction, I'll invite you to share with us. Go ahead, Howard. If you're watching on our live stream, I'll invite you to share a name. Debbie Porter. And as we have been doing so throughout the current war in Israel, we are going to offer a prayer for the state of Israel. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Avinu B'Shamayim, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, and guiding them with your good counsel, and strengthen the hands of those who defend our holy land. Establish peace in the land and fulfillment of joy for all who dwell there. And our hope is that this war will lead to a greater, longer lasting peace, not only for Israel, but for the people in Gaza and for the people throughout the region. And so I hope you'll join in with us singing a prayer for peace. Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Well, I was kind of dreading giving a Dvar Torah this week, given, it's been hard to talk. On Saturday last week, I got through services just fine, but that evening, started to feel a little tickle in my throat. And Sunday morning, I woke up and basically no sound came out. And then Monday, I woke up and absolutely no sound came out. Then Tuesday, a little sound started to come out, but every time I talked, it felt like a knife going into my throat. And day by day, it's gotten better. But on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, even beyond, I decided to choose when to speak very carefully. So not only was it painful to talk, but every time I talked, I knew I was putting strain on my vocal cords, which was going to make the problem worse. And I didn't even, it wasn't so much even that I had to think about when to talk, when not to talk. I didn't think how to talk. I tried to whisper. That seemed a little easier. Told me, no, that makes it worse. And so I had to be very cognizant of my talking, which is challenging for any rabbi, but for me, talking is how I make my living. Now, fortunately, if this were to happen, this was a good week for it to happen, because in a rarity, I had no public speaking appearances this week, no big speeches. The only thing really that I had to do that required my voice was Jacob back there. I was on his podcast, and what's the name of your podcast again, Jacob?
Oh, it's the line.info.
Check it out. Jacob asking some great questions about anti-Semitism. I enjoyed that. I felt badly for your listeners, though, having to hear my grovelly voice. But that intentionality of having to think about my words this week, it was maybe a good exercise, because we have to think about the words that we choose, because words matter. And often we get in trouble because of our choice of words. That happened to me last week. I worded something in a way where I could have worded it differently, got me in trouble because of the words I chose. Then there's times also, I hear this quite a bit from my wife, that it's not what I said, it's the way I said it, and me in trouble. But also, very often, when people, particularly leaders, give a speech that is really profound, really makes an impact, it's because of the words they chose to say. Now, I've talked about this before. Dr. Martin Luther King was maybe the greatest example of an orator in our country in the past century. And on the memorial for him in Washington, D.C., there's a paraphrased quote from him. And when the monument was unveiled, there was outrage. And the people said, well, we were trying to fit the quote into the space. But by taking out certain words that Dr. King had chosen, it changed the meaning of what he was saying. And a lot of his fans and supporters said that by trying to honor him, by paraphrasing, they actually did a disservice to his legacy. And as I was choosing my words this week, it made me think too, actually, a little bit about this week's Torah portion. Now, I'll start off by talking about another Torah portion. And that's when Isaac was dying. And on his deathbed, he wants to give his son Esau a blessing. And Jacob, Esau's twin brother, really wants that blessing. And so, knowing that his father can't see too well, he disguises himself as Esau and tells his father that he is Esau. He goes, well, Esau, your voice sounds a little messed up. And he's like, yeah, I have whatever the rabbi has. My is kind of scratchy, groggly right now. And so Isaac believes that's actually Esau and gives Jacob Esau's blessing. And Jacob, Esau comes home, finds out, and he's devastated. And so he goes to his father, Isaac, and says, Dad, give me the blessing. Just say it again to me. And Isaac won't do that. And why won't Isaac do that? Well, a couple of reasons. If you have ever had the experience, which some of you have had, and I as a rabbi have not infrequently, of sitting next to somebody in their final hours when they're dying. As a person's body is shutting down, as they are getting closer to their final breaths, the breathing becomes more laborious. And as a result, it's harder to talk. And it takes more strain. So Isaac was in this position. And he had already had to choose his words very carefully and had to exert a fair amount of energy to say them. But also, he hadn't written it down. He spoke what was in his heart to Jacob and had chosen his words so thoughtfully. And now for Esau to say, hey, just repeat it back to me, he'd be like, I won't capture the meaning. It won't be the same. It won't be from the heart. I'll say, I think I said this, and I said this also. I can't do that. And so Esau is robbed of his. Now fast forward to this week's Torah portion. It's Jacob who's on his deathbed and saying his final goodbyes to everyone. And he calls forward all of his sons. Jacob had 12 sons and at least one daughter. He lived down in Utah County. Just kidding. Anyways, so nobody liked that joke. I thought it was funny. So anyways, bad joke. So Jacob calls all of his children forward based on his experiences with them. Gives them curses, but spends a tremendous amount of time thinking about each thing he is going to say. And then he calls up two of his grandsons, Ephraim and Manasseh. And he is about to give them a blessing. And somebody says, wait. You're confused. They figure if Jacob's the end of his life, he's got to be confused. These are your grandsons. And also, you're about to bless the younger one for the older one. And he says, no, I've been doing this intentionally. And so you see in this final moment of Jacob's life, he brings so much intentionality to what he is doing, what he is saying, the order he's saying in, and the way he's saying it too. And this is why it makes such an impact. And why those words carry on through those tribes that are his sons for generations and generations and generations to follow. And ultimately, we as Jewish people, we have found that our words and the way we use them can lead to a tremendous difference in the future of our people. One of my favorite stories is how the state of Israel, when it was being founded and the Declaration of Independence was being signed, they get to the end, and Israel was founded by largely atheist Jews, to be honest, very non-religious Jews. But they needed the support of the religious Jews, because how could they call themselves the Jewish state if religious Jews didn't accept it and only secular atheist Jews did? And so they present the Declaration of Independence to the religious Zionists and say, will you sign this? And they look at it, read over it, and say, nope, we won't. Well, why not? Because this is supposed to be the Jewish state. There's no mention of God anywhere in this document. How can this be a Jewish state if you don't even mention God in the Declaration of Independence? And the secular Zionists said, well, we have a problem because we won't sign it if you do put God in here. Because this is meant to be, the Jewish state means a state for the Jewish people, not a religious state. And they were at an impasse. What do? One group says they won't sign it without God's name. One says they won't sign it with God's name. And a scholar said, well, there are dozens and dozens of names of God in our prayers and in the Torah, Jewish tradition. Ish HaMilchama, the man of war. Let me think. Avinu Shebashamayim, heavenly, our Father in heaven. Elohim, Adonai, etc., etc., etc. And they said, write them all out. And they looked through the whole list. And then they found one. Sur Yisrael. That's what we say in the Micha Mocha in our morning prayers. Sur Yisrael, Kumava Ezra Yisrael. Sur Yisrael. And it's the rock of Israel. And for the religion, and they put a line that said, we put our faith in Sur Yisrael, the rock of Israel. And when the religious Zionists read it, they read it as God's name was now in the Declaration of Independence. This was satisfying to them. But for the secular labor Zionists who'd been farmers, they read it and they said, that's exactly what we've done. We've put our blood, sweat, and tears into the rocks of Israel, into the land of Israel. That works for us. And if it weren't for the thoughtfulness of what word to use, there would be no state of Israel today. And so what we can learn from having laryngitis, or from the creation of Israel, or looking at words that hurt us, or words that inspire us, is that words matter. And that before we speak, especially in a moment of significance, it's important to take a second to not speak and to think of what the impact of those words will be. Shabbat Shalom. I want to thank you, Cantor, for leading alongside me this evening. Always grateful for you, but especially tonight.
Thank you.
Once in a while, we'll have Cantor will be out of town or something. We'll have no coverage. I'll say, I'll take Friday night. I'm not a great singer, but I can do it. And I don't know if I could tonight, so very glad you're here. And I want to thank, of course, as always, the Salt Lake City Police Department for being here and keeping us safe. It's nice to be in this space, the Pepper Bait Midrash, as we're now calling it. Just to let you know, you might come in through the front door there, and I'm going to have that door open for the next couple of weeks on Friday nights, just as people get adjusted. But if you pull up and park right outside this door will be unlocked, and in a couple of weeks I'll be only unlocking that door so that we can, for security reasons, control more who is coming in and out of the building. So use that door on Friday nights, unless otherwise noted that we're in the sanctuary or something. I also see Cheryl Palmer from our board here. Cheryl, would you like to make some announcements for us? Thank you, Cheryl. Most, well, it always is, but especially at night. Cheryl's in our choir. Aleinu on the bottom of page 586. And by the way, I see some folks I don't know here. If we all know each other, please afterwards come say hi. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצו, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונה, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
May be seated. At this time, we think of those whose death was recently taken from us, and those who have died in this season years past, and those who draw near our hearts with our own, as we remember them. In the period of, if you hear the name of a loved one, you're right to rise upon hearing their name. In the period of Shloshim, the 30-day period of mourning, you remember Terry MacArthur, brother of Karen MacArthur, Floyd Jacob Eschler, Colony member and husband of Judy Eschler, and Barbara Kravitz, mother of Rhoda Kipper and grandmother of Tamara Kipper. And this week, we also think of those who've lost their lives in service to the state of Israel or through acts of terror in the last 30 days. And this week, we commemorate the following Yorksites anniversary of the passing of these loved ones. Lily Mildred Goldstein Annisman, Ann Hansen, Morris Arnovitz, Galina Balk, Abe Baum, Daniel Bornstein, Joe Kahn, Max Callett, Walter Daniel, Joe Doctorman, Geraldine Jerry Tupler, Edward Eisen, Isidore Eisen, Aaron Fierstein, Valerie Fields, Harry J. Pinkett, Bertha Douglas Frank, Naomi Franklin, Phyllis Geltzoller, Carolyn Cole Goldenberg, Stephanie Hennian, Eugene Hertz, Elizabeth Muriel Hillis, Marlene Shulak Isaacson, Israel Meyer Isaacson, Gabby Giron, Jack Kapp, Saul Correwa, Shayna Lamson, Howard Lerner, Tina Lenato, Lynn Luskin, Bonnie Lee May, Raymond Pedersen, Sarah Pritzker, Louis Rosenthal, Wally Saperstein, Ginda Sasonkin, Jean Schulman, Corinne Siegel, Miriam Shapiro, Robert Siegel, Ruth Smith, Raul Soria Sr., Rudia Sarodubsky, Jack Strasberg, Louis D. Tannenbaum, Magda Weidenfeld, Helen Lee, Chad Paul Wright, and Haritina Zabirnia. And if you have a name to add, I invite you to rise and while I look in your direction, share with us. If you're watching on a live stream, I'll invite you to share here as well. Zichronali Racha, and our memories be for our blessing. Your morning is your tradition, do so you're invited to rise. We're on page 598 as we say these words. Yikadah, Yikadah, Shemei Rabban.
Amen. Amen. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעמי עמיה.
יתברך וישבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. יתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קדושה.
בריחו.
לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה. תשמעתה ונאמתה. דעני רם בעלמה ואמרו.
אמן.
יהי שלום הרב על נשמיה. וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל. אמרו.
אמן.
עושה שלום
במרמיו. הוא יעשה שלום. ועל כל ישראל. ואמרו. Amen.
It's supposed to be some peaceful morning. Come for the bereaved one. Once again, we say,
Amen.
we're going to conclude, as we have been throughout this war, with Hatikva, singing of Israel's national anthem, which you can find on the bottom page 678. I'll invite you to rise.
God aleinu penima nefesh Yehudi haniya ulefatei Mizrach kadima ein letzion tzafia. Oh, the love that tikvatenu, hatikva bachnot alpayim, liat amchavshi be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. להיות המחושי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים.
Standing for Kiddush.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו ושבת קודשו באהבה ורצון הנחילנו זיכרון מעשי בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי לנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני ויקדש השבת אמן לחיים.
And we have here a column made by our friend Moshe. Sneak around your camera and grab that.
Absolutely.
And if you will please join in with us.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ בתאוות. שבת שלום, שבת שלום, שבת שלום, שבת 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 שלום, שבת שלום, שבת שלום, שבת 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 שלום, שבת 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 שלום, שבת 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 שלום, שבת שלום, שבת שלום, שבת 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 שלום. Shabbat shalom, everyone.